This morning we're going to remove a wheel cylinder from an N600 Honda, and we're going to start out with a number 14 extended socket, and going to basically back off on the handbrake pressure this way. Okay, with that adjustment loosened, I can now lift this out of the slot here, and you can see now this arm is free and we can now start taking off the shoes. Okay, now what I do is I use a pair of vice grips to remove these springs. I guess there's probably tools for them and that sort of thing, but I always use vice grips. Get the second one here. Doesn't take a lot of effort, and as long as you have it clamped nice and tight. I feel safer doing that because if you get hooked with one of these springs, it can hurt. Now the next step is to remove these two little spring-loaded guys. I have a pair of pliers to do that. And you just basically turn it and the shoe comes off. You can see that the little adjuster came off too. You might want to draw or do a quick photograph of this so you know where you had it before. Let's do the other side. Okay, that basically exposes that. Now on the back of here, I'm going to show you in a minute if I can get the camera over there, but on the back of here is a two sliding sort of U-shape things that affix this here. So that's what we're going to do next. As you can see, or hopefully you can see, there's a dimple on here on the bottom U-shape that comes in from the top, and then a hole in the U-shaped piece that comes in from the bottom. And the dimple is there's one there, and there's also one at the top above here, which you can't see right now. Now I'm not sure this is the correct way of doing this. I don't know if there's a special tool, but I found that if I tap this thing down to the end with a mallet, I can then pop it off. And you can see that one's released now, and it slides out. And then the upper one will slide out. And then the whole assembly can be taken out the opposite side. Okay, one final thing. I had already taken the brake fluid line off this, which goes right there, prior to this video. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of the fact that when you do this, you want to use a brake line wrench. This happens to be a number 10, and that's what you use for this. This gives you, it's nice and wide, and it really gives you a positive torque so that you do not round off the fitting, which is like a nightmare. And when you're putting it back together, always make sure that you can sort of put it in there by hand and align it and bring it in until it's snug. You should be able to go in quite a few threads by hand. That way you'll always avoid cross-threading. These particular cylinders are made out of aluminum, so that's very easy to do. Another thing I wanted to show you was the way the handbrake lever sits in here. So when you put it back together, that's how that goes in there. And I also wanted to show you these clips that we popped out of there. The one comes up from the bottom and looks like this, and those little detents right there. So that's how those work. Now we might as well, since it's all apart, I'll show you how you bring this thing apart. This boot is shot, and there's basically a spring on here, and it just comes off like that. Looks like that. Then the dust boot pops off like that, and you can see how nice and damp it is because it's this one leaks. And then there is your rather clean piston and its little rubber gasket, which is it's hardened. And I'm hoping the rebuild kit that I have will solve this, because I don't think the inside of this thing is damaged enough to be concerned, but we shall see. That's it.